I'm back again, and today I'm going back to that dementia list, which was noted a few days ago, if you're looking for it. And I'm pulling out the reminisce, and I'm calling it and repeat because there's two portions that I'm doing. Reminisce, never say remember. So when we're with those people whose minds are going like mine, you can reminisce, but don't say remember and repeat. Never say, I told you. I told you this is Tuesday. I told you. Never say that because in both of those, we have to listen not only the words, but the tone. And the tone is explaining our heart. And if we're going to just say, remember, I told you, that frustration comes up. And you'll find out that that frustration at somebody else is really, really, really a frustration that's triggered about something you're frustrated about yourself. Because usually when we're out there pointing at somebody else, the same thing is happening in ourselves, or we're remembering when we were told that, and here we are repeating it. So reminisce, never say remember. Repeat, never say I told you. That's as per Huey and the Dementia list. I remember back in our camping days raising the children, we went out to the campground. We had a seasonal campground, a seasonal camper. And we were sitting around the campfire, and we would often be sitting around laughing and singing and sometimes crying and saying, remember this, remember that. We'd be reminiscing and telling our old stories and our laughs and our tears and our dilemmas. And we solved so many world problems around the campfire. But that was because we were with friends and family, people that knew us. And they're a little safer that way. But you know what I am learning with this global world I'm in? That when we go to cultures or mixed ages and we don't really know the people, we have to be careful because we might reminisce, okay, sir, I remember. Do you remember? Well, if I am reminiscing over some laughter I had with my mom and dad and my siblings while I was little and some joyful thing, and I don't know them, and they had a terrible childhood where they were beaten or the Christmas tree was thrown out the door, It's before Christmas, by the way. We have to know who it is that we're talking about. So important to know our audience, whether we're on stage speaking and need to know the audience, or if we are simply speaking with whoever is in front of us, they are the audience. So we have to be careful when we're around strangers and outside those of our daily personal lives. We know them pretty well. And then if we say remember, well, there's not too much trouble and problem there because, oh yeah, I remember that. Do you remember that? It's the regular way. But with people you don't know, reminiscing is a different type of sharing. And certainly if somebody's mind is starting to go, like the early stages of dementia, I remember with mom, that the really tough part was while she was going into it. She would have that look that would say, I know I'm supposed to know, and it was so painful because it was hard for her and really hard for us. Once that connection is kind of gone, you have this new person to love. And they might come back in and out once in a while, but typically they're not really as aware. But they will always be aware of the tone of voice. So if you say, you remember, I told you, and that's so easy to come out of our mouths. And even in the dementia or somebody in another language, they'll feel that tone that you're using. So I'm just going to give a little caution when we jump into that. Remember? And sharing what we think are happy memories may not be happy for those people. It's so critical to know each other and be gentle with each other. That ugly tone of I told you shows up whether it's with children, and that's where we get hurt the most, isn't it? Somebody's out of sorts and they use that, and we're the little children, and they use that tone and we take it right into our heart. So I'm just inviting you to exercise caution when you're coming up with your words. Stop and think what they are. When you're coming up with the words and listening to the sound or the tone, is that really what you wanted to say? Or if you're frustrated and upset, maybe just zip it, cool off, and then come back to it. Now, there's a lecture for you for today. Just consider how great it would be to really be aware of what's coming out of your mouth and what the feeling is, and how to speak up clearly with confidence and ease and flow, because that's the basis of all our healing, in my opinion, because I love being able to coin and choose and design my life based around my communication skills. I know that you can do it because I am the Coach Sandra, compassionate queen of straight talk. You can do it, and you know it. I can help. Please, any questions, comments, send me a message or make comments here. Most appreciated, and have yourself a wonderful day.